Donald Trump built his career on making deals. From real estate to entertainment, his name became synonymous with high-stakes negotiations and bold business moves. His book, Trump, The Art of the Deal, outlines his strategies for negotiation and success in business. It became a bestseller and a blueprint for aspiring entrepreneurs, showcasing his philosophy of aggressive deal-making and relentless pursuit of success. Now, he is applying those same principles to the realm of politics and public policy. His transition from the boardroom to the Oval Office marked a significant shift, yet his core approach remained unchanged. Trump believes that America can overcome its financial challenges by embracing his business acumen and his focus on deal-making. He envisions a nation that operates with the efficiency and profitability of a successful corporation. He proposes a combination of tax cuts, deregulation, and tough negotiations to stimulate economic growth and reduce the national debt. His policies aim to create a more business-friendly environment, encouraging investment and innovation. However, governing a nation is far more complex than running a business. The intricacies of public policy, the need for bipartisan support, and the diverse needs of the population present unique challenges. The stakes are higher, the interests more diverse, and the potential consequences far greater. Every decision made in the political arena can have far-reaching impacts on millions of lives. Trump's critics argue that his approach is too simplistic and that his policies could exacerbate existing problems. They caution that his business tactics may not translate well into effective governance. They point to the growing national debt and the potential impact of his tax cuts on social programs like Social Security. Critics fear that the reduction in government revenue could lead to cuts in essential services. Trump's supporters, on the other hand, believe that he is the right person to shake up the status quo and bring about real change. They see his unconventional approach as a necessary disruption to a stagnant political system. They argue that his business experience gives him a unique perspective on how to create jobs and grow the economy. His supporters believe that his policies will lead to a more dynamic and prosperous America. They see his willingness to challenge conventional wisdom as a sign of strength, not recklessness. To them, his boldness is a refreshing change from the cautious and often gridlocked nature of traditional politics. The debate over Trump's financial policies is likely to continue throughout his presidency and beyond. His tenure has sparked intense discussions about the role of business principles in government and the future direction of American policy. Only time will tell whether his approach will lead to lasting prosperity or exacerbate America's financial woes. The legacy of his policies will be scrutinized and debated for years to come as the nation grapples with the outcomes of his unconventional presidency. Social Security, the bedrock of retirement security for millions of Americans, is facing a financial crisis. The program is designed to provide a safety net for retirees, disabled workers, and their families. However, demographic shifts, including increasing life expectancy and a declining birth rate, are putting a strain on the system. Simply put, there are fewer workers paying into Social Security for every retiree receiving benefits. This imbalance is projected to worsen in the coming decades, leading to a significant funding shortfall. Without changes, the Social Security Trust Fund, which provides benefits to current retirees, is projected to be depleted within the next few decades. This looming crisis has sparked intense debate over how to ensure Social Security's long-term solvency. Some advocate for raising the retirement age, reducing benefits for higher income earners, or increasing payroll taxes. Others propose more fundamental changes, such as privatizing Social Security or allowing individuals to invest a portion of their payroll taxes in private accounts. The future of Social Security is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Addressing the program's financial challenges will require difficult choices and a willingness to compromise. Tax cuts are a cornerstone of Trump's economic agenda. He has consistently emphasized the importance of reducing the tax burden on both individuals and businesses as a means to stimulate economic activity. He argues that reducing taxes, particularly for businesses, will unleash economic growth, create jobs, and foster innovation. By allowing companies to retain more of their earnings, the idea is that they will reinvest these funds into expanding operations, developing new products, and entering new markets. This in turn is expected to lead to increased demand for labor, thereby creating more job opportunities and boosting wages for all Americans. The administration believes that a thriving business sector is the key to a robust economy. Trump believes that lower taxes will encourage businesses to invest more, hire more workers, and increase production, ultimately leading to a stronger economy that benefits everyone. The theory is that when businesses thrive, the benefits trickle down to employees and consumers alike. Ultimately, the administration envisions a scenario where a vibrant private sector drives economic growth, leading to higher standards of living and greater prosperity for the nation as a whole. However, critics argue that Trump's tax cuts are a giveaway to the wealthy and corporations that will primarily benefit the already affluent. They point out that the majority of the tax savings will go to the top income earners and large corporations, exacerbating income inequality. They contend that the cuts will do little to stimulate economic growth in the long run and will instead lead to higher budget deficits and a greater national debt. Critics argue that the promised economic benefits are overstated and that the policy will not deliver the widespread prosperity that is being touted. The concern is that the lost revenue from tax cuts will force the government to either cut essential social programs or lead to higher taxes in the future to cover the shortfall. This could have a detrimental impact on public services and the social safety net. These critics argue that the lost revenue from tax cuts will force cuts to essential social programs, such as healthcare, education, and social security, which are vital for the well-being of many Americans. Alternatively, the government may need to increase borrowing, adding to the national debt, and potentially leading to higher taxes down the line, or lead to higher taxes in the future. This could place a greater financial burden on future generations and limit the government's ability to respond to economic crises. The debate over tax cuts is often framed as a choice between two competing economic theories: supply-side economics, which emphasizes the role of tax cuts in stimulating economic growth, and Keynesian economics, which emphasizes the role of government spending in stimulating demand. Each theory has its proponents and critics, and the effectiveness of either approach can vary depending on the economic context. Proponents of Keynesian economics argue that in times of economic downturn, increased government spending can help to boost demand and pull the economy out of recession. Whether Trump's tax cuts will achieve their intended goals remains to be seen. The economy is a complex system, and it is difficult to isolate the impact of any single policy change. Various factors, including global economic conditions, technological advancements, and consumer behavior, all play a role in shaping economic outcomes. While tax cuts may provide a short-term boost, their long-term effects are harder to predict and depend on a multitude of variables. However, the debate over tax cuts is likely to continue as long as there is disagreement about the best way to promote economic growth and prosperity. As policymakers and economists continue to analyze the data and outcomes, the discussion will evolve, reflecting new insights and changing economic conditions. Trump has promised to deliver sustained economic growth of 3% or more, a rate not seen consistently in the United States for over a decade. This ambitious target has been a cornerstone of his economic agenda, aiming to revitalize the American economy and restore its competitive edge on the global stage. He argues that his combination of tax cuts, deregulation, and trade deals will create a more favorable environment for businesses to thrive, leading to job creation, higher wages, and increased economic output. By reducing the tax burden on corporations and individuals, Trump believes that businesses will have more capital to invest in expansion and innovation. However, achieving sustained economic growth of this magnitude is a challenging task, even under the most favorable conditions. Economists point out that several factors must align perfectly for such growth to be realized, including consumer confidence, business investment, and global economic stability. The global economy is interconnected, and factors beyond the control of any single country, such as global recessions or trade wars, can have a significant impact on economic growth. For instance, trade disputes with major economic partners can disrupt supply chains and lead to increased costs for businesses and consumers alike. Additionally, structural issues within the U.S. economy, such as income inequality and a skills gap in the workforce, can also hinder economic growth. Addressing these issues requires comprehensive policies that go beyond tax cuts and deregulation. focusing on education, job training, and social programs to uplift disadvantaged communities. While Trump's policies may contribute to short-term economic gains, it remains to be seen whether they can deliver sustained growth over the long term. Short-term gains can be driven by factors such as increased consumer spending and business investments, but long-term growth requires a stable and inclusive economic environment. Critics argue that his focus on tax cuts and deregulation will primarily benefit the wealthy and corporations, while doing little to address the underlying structural issues that contribute to income inequality and slow economic growth. They contend that without addressing these root causes, any economic gains will be unevenly distributed, exacerbating social and economic disparities. The success or failure of Trump's economic policies will likely depend on a complex interplay of factors, including the global economic environment, the effectiveness of his policies in stimulating investment and job creation, and his ability to address the underlying structural problems facing the U.S. economy. Only time will tell if these policies can truly deliver the sustained economic growth that has been promised, or if they will fall short of their ambitious goals.